Hey guys, today I want to talk a little bit about why expats come to the Philippines to live. You know, I've been here for 4 years now. It's 4 years at the end of this month, and I bet I was here before, of course. But I mean, I've been here 4 years straight. I haven't left in 4 years. I've never gone any place except, the Philippines itself. And I enjoy it here. I love it here. I love my freedom here. A lot of people say, well, Steve, what freedoms do you have? We had COVID for 2 years. You know what? I still felt that I had freedoms here. I felt like we were missing freedoms, but so did the rest of the world. Let's face it. But the Philippines has given me something here that I never had back home. You know what it is? It's the bitching and the moaning. Back home, the woke culture, politics, everything has kind of wrecked the United States. It's kind of destroyed what's going on back there. Let's face it, the United States is probably one of the most beautiful countries in the world. One of them, amongst many. But it has definitely lost its standing with the government failing us. The people have changed. There's certain weaknesses in the government that we never had before. We've always had a strong government back in the U.S. We've had our issues, and I'm not going to say that we haven't, because we have. And in the past, I'll say 10 to 20 years, you could almost predict what was coming down the pike. And about 15, 20 years ago, I was saying we would be right where we are now, with other countries starting to step out and become superpowers. You could see it coming. Even as a child, I remember writing an article, and it actually got printed, and I still have that article, about superpowers, about Russia actually, and look at Russia today. So there are a lot of changes going on, but a lot of the expats that come over here, these are the reasons why they come. A lot of them is the workplace has changed. I worked for Lawrence Public Schools for a long time, okay? And Lawrence Public Schools is a place where the incompetent rise to the top. And a lot of companies are like that too. The incompetent rise to the top, they rise to the surface. And Lawrence Public Schools has always put a lot of principals and other people up at the top that were incapable of running a school, never mind a doghouse. It was that bad. I remember working under some of these people, and they were atrocious people. They were people that mistreated people. They would smile in your face, but they'd stab you in the back when you walked away. It was just not a nice place to work. You wanted to get out of there as soon as you could, but you were working towards your pension. You were this far away from your pension. You could taste the fruits of your labors of working for that place for so long, for almost 20 years. You could taste the fruits of your labors, but they knew that you couldn't go anywhere, and they would make you pay. It was almost like a torture chamber. Like they knew they had you, that you wouldn't leave because you had so much time in, so they figure, okay, I can mistreat this guy. And it's kind of the way it is in the U.S. People, if they see that you're open game, that they can torture you. It's almost like the trolls kind of with YouTubers. It really is. It's like they see you being happy, or they see you succeeding in life, or they see you happy at your job, and they want to make it miserable, and they take that happiness away from you. That's the workplace back in the States, and it was where I worked also. Now, it was one of the reasons why I liked working doing security work for a security company on weekends, because when I worked on weekends, I didn't have to deal with anything that much. I didn't have to deal with all the problems that a lot of other people in the world had. I just sat in a car, told people to move their car. If I saw something going in the parking lot, I would call the police or what have you. Now, as I've had time to talk to a lot of people over here, one of the things I've got to talk to people about is this: why do you leave the U.S.? And here's the things that they tell me: woke culture, people are changing, politics. It's cheaper in the Philippines. People are nicer in the Philippines. People are sweeter and kinder in the Philippines. Feminism is not as robust in the Philippines, and women aren't in part of that feminist culture, where everyone's equal. They have a more subservient way about them, a kinder way, and they make better wives. They're just kinder people. I think the majority of guys that come over here for that. A lot of guys that I see, I don't get the sexpats in my group. I get more people that they're looking to settle down, or they're trying to find somebody decent. A lot of them want to get married, or some of them, they don't want to get married, but a lot of them want to settle down or find their future partner, their life partner, or, wife or what have you. That's what they're looking for in life. And I commend them for coming here and having the guts to do something like that, because it takes a lot of guts for a man to get up out of his own country and leave and go to another place and start his life over. And I'm not saying that because I did it. I say it because it does take a lot of guts. It's not as easy as one might think. It's not like 1, 2, 3. Okay, here I go. I'm ready to roll. You know, and you know, everything just starts from scratch really easy, and it's like boom. It doesn't happen that way. Over here, it's hard to do that. So I commend these people that are doing this, because it's not easy for you to come over here and start your life over. We have people over here. Some of them come over here, they think it's, somebody mentioned the other day, it's like an Indiana Jones movie and it's all gonna be a big adventure. It's not a big adventure. Can it be? Yes. But you don't want it to be a big adventure. You come over here to kind of calm down, relax, settle into your atmosphere. I mean, this is where I live. I'm out in the middle of the field where we race our little carts. But I mean, this is it. And you can see here, we have a little ramp here too. And you can go over the ramp with the RC controlled cars. And once in a while we use out here to race things. It's kind of fun. But, you know, you make your life yours over here. And when you come here, you leave all the politics home. It's the best thing in the world. Do I follow politics back home? Yeah, I do sometimes. I'll admit it. I do worry about my home. I do worry about the States. I have an investment there. You know, I have family that live back there. I have my sister that lives back there. I have my retirement fund is back there. I have my Social Security back there. I have a lot of other things back there. And will I ever go back? I'm not sure I'll ever go back. I do worry that I might have to go back if things change here. You know, if the politics change here, what am I to do? If China comes here, what do I do? I have to have a plan to kind of, you know, leave if I have to. I'm hoping I never have to, because I don't want to. I don't want to go back into that atmosphere from here. In some ways, I think I would probably just stay here and fight with the Filipinos if war ever broke loose over here. Do I think it's going to happen? I think it could be a possibility at some point in the future. Do I think it's in the immediate future? No, probably not. And we've discussed that a little bit. But anyway, I did want to talk a little bit more about what people are coming over here for and what they're looking for and what they're leaving. And like I said, the woke culture, the politics, the infighting amongst people. Americans have changed, and it's not in a good way. Don't, like I said before, don't bring those Western attitudes and cultural differences over here. You know, treat people decent over here. Always respect people over here. You'll do fine. Remember, I was talking one time about the embassy. I saw this guy in the embassy. He was yelling at this lady behind the counter, telling the lady behind the counter, I don't want a Filipino, I want an American. That's why I came to the American embassy. And the guy was being really, really rude to the girl. And me and a few other people were trying to tell the guy, how do you know she's not American? She could be an American. You don't know. And why are you doing this here to this poor lady? You know, don't mistreat these people. Don't ever mistreat these people. But the guy kind of kept it going, and we kind of got him to understand that, you know, he was going to get kicked out of there sooner or later if he kept it up. He was saying some other stuff too. It was really, really rude, and it was really over the top. And those are the people that we don't want here. Those are the people that we hate to have here in the Philippines. We got a lot of people over here already. I've already seen one of the expats in our community. I don't know what happened to him. Some false accusations and stuff like that started to fly, and for no reason whatsoever. And I couldn't understand what was happening. And everybody, you know, knew that it was untrue. And the guy is still falsely accusing people. And it's not good. It's not a good scene to have that. And it's ticked off a lot of people in our neighborhood. And it's not a good way to live for him anymore. I kind of feel bad for the person, because I think there's some issues there that can be resolved, maybe through medication or seeing somebody or whatever. I'm not sure. But it's not a good scene when somebody comes over here from the United States and that's what happens, you know. So I got a dog fight down here going after a cat. Anyway, you know, it's sad to see stuff like that. It's very, very sad to see stuff like that. And hopefully it'll end Maybe he'll apologize or whatever for his mistake. But when people have that kind of mindset of coming over here without talking to people, they accuse people, and they won't even talk face to face with a person to try to settle things. It's kind of sad. That's bringing the Western problems over here. That's what we don't want to see over here. And unfortunately, that guy has kind of secluded himself into like being almost like a hermit in the neighborhood now, because everybody in the neighborhood knows what he's done because of what he did. And he tried to, stiff some people here. He ordered furniture, and he changed the color, and then he wanted it sanded off, and it was already stained, and they told him they can't do that. So they said, we'll paint it the same color. And then he tried to pin it on me, saying I changed the color. I didn't even talk to them during that time except to, get some things done in my house. It was really sad what had happened. It was actually atrocious what he accused me of, and I had nothing to do with it. I walked away shaking my head after I heard it. I was like, because my girlfriend told me to go up and talk to the lady at the furniture place, and I walked away shaking my head after I heard the story. I was like, what the heck is that all about? But anyhow, and other people were filling me in with the whole story and what was going on. And after I heard the story, I was like, this guy, I hope he comes to his senses, because if he doesn't, it's going to be very, very sad for him and sad for the community around here that, we have one guy that doesn't get it. And don't bring those attitudes with you, guys. Don't bring them. God bless, guys. And remember, leave the Western stuff home. Bring a new you here. Bring the best you that you can possibly bring. And remember, be self-aware of what you do. It usually takes about a year to really figure out who you want to be over here. And the Filipino people will change you for sure. God bless, guys. Take care.